Hey, what up, everybody? Moto Fox back here again. I recently did that install of the car stereo, and you guys seem to like it. I got another request to do another one. Um, this one here is Binize 10, so it runs Android 10 on there, and also it's a 10-inch screen. And since today is just an unboxing, I'm going to do a separate video for like going through some of the menus and some of the features and stuff like that of the radio on a second video. Tools for today going to be pretty basic. Just going to need a pocket knife for opening up the box. Any old pocket knife will do. And then I'm thinking probably a Walther PPS would be the right gun for that. That one is in 40. I'm sure probably a 9 would work, but 40's better. Well, actually, now that I said that, I don't agree with that, but in that gun, I think 40's better. Alright. So we got user manual on this. Brought to you by Binize. Oh, there we go. Warranty card. Sure, more useless information. And we got some wires here. And so these would be your dual USBs. Now you notice on these, you have one that's a 6-pin, one that's a 4-pin. So you'll have this one will be what would run, the 6-pin is what would run to your Apple, like Carplay or Android wired. And you have this here, which is just your harness for, you know, like auxiliaries and subwoofers and camera outs and aux ins, stuff like that. And let's see, some screws in there. You got your main wiring harness, which this is going to be 90% or better of what people are going to use, I would think, with the radio. It's pretty easy. It hasn't changed since, I don't know, the 80s, I guess, probably before. I don't know. This guy's kind of interesting, right? Alright, so trying to remember what this one is. But this one is either your Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And if you get poor signal on it, it says to cut it shorter, which, sure. So if you're having issues with getting poor either Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, it'll be one of these two wires. You just cut it a little bit short, and you'll get better signal. I think this is for the, this is for the external rear backup camera. And this will be your GPS sending unit. You'll want to try and mount this as high as you can when installing the car radio. And then getting to the actual radio itself here, the pièce de résistance. Oh yes, you got some mounting hardware here. Hopefully it installs nice and clean so you don't have to see those. It is pretty nice. Looks nice, at least, I think. Nice flat edges on it. And then no actual physical buttons. It's all like touch buttons. And then just your antenna, GPS. Here's your main wiring harness. These will be your two USB connectors. This would be, I would think, your auxiliary, like the camera outs and auxiliary ins and all that stuff. And it looks like one may not be used. What's that? Maybe that's where all the memory cards or something goes, because you see, oh, that's for like disassembly. I think, maybe? Keep pulling. No, that's just for disassembly, but that's kind of neat. Alright, so that you don't have to pull off. Make sure I don't get anything pinched. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, we'll see how it works once I have it installed. I guess while I'm doing this part, I'll give you a tip, just the tip. But when you're doing wires like this, go ahead and strip and do all your wires on one side first. And then once you have that done, then you can move on to connecting it to the other parts of the wiring harness. It just, one, it'll make it so you can clean up your wires some, they're not all twisted up. Two, it makes it where you get to work with a longer wire for a longer period of time. I decided I'm going to go ahead and try and shoot this all as one video instead of breaking it up. Now that I've done the unboxing, it's a couple days later. I have some stuff laid out here. I pulled the Toto head unit here out of the Tacoma. Then I have the Binize here. You can see the size difference. Like, actually, let me mention, like, comparing these two, it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges. Like, they're not really. Like, I picked this one because it's Linux. This one is Android. I kind of wanted it to be inside of this little bezel. This one is gonna, spill over the edges. After kind of seeing it, I haven't seen it installed yet, but bigger screen, hey, I'm not opposed to that. Also, this one, you can see some of the accessories I had with it. The steering wheel control, that's actually kind of nice. Like, I have steering wheel controls, but, it's kind of nice to do, like, the anger down, anger up, Then this is the Carplay adapter that they have. This is a part of the stereo controls. And also, this does work. You can have this work in conjunction with your steering wheel controls. So you can have, both of those. Then this is the wiring harness that I have wired up for this. Now, it just happens that I had an older Toyota. Actually, it was an '87 Toyota, and this part is still the same, where it's only changed slightly. I think this one actually has one extra wire that the new wiring harness doesn't have. And then I'll connect both of these. I know the one is for CarPlay, like I said, but I'm not really sure what the other one is. I think it's just mainly for reading data, like, connecting USB drives to it to read, MP3s and stuff. Then I'll just hook this up to what's already run in the truck. As for this guy, I'm not even going to use any of that. I will hook up the GPS. What I do on connectors, at least on this one, what I'm going to do is, for the majority of the connectors, it'll be just these that'll bridge the two. That way it'll just be one. They're cheaper. And that's what you can see I did on this wiring harness. And then on a couple of them, such as this one, which is your rear camera, I'll put a different style end on there. That way you can, unplug this from the camera and actually get this out still. Same with these connectors that are for the steering wheel controls. That way you can unplug these, and then I'll put like a male on one end and a female on the other, and then reverse it on the other side. That way you don't accidentally connect them to the wrong one if you have to take it out to do something. Well, you seem to like the tip, so I'll give you a little more. When I was mounting this radio inside of the face, it's not quite as like this one is like straight doubled in, fits right in there. Since this is a 10-inch screen, everything kind of flows out a little more. So for it to fit inside the, the Scotch adapter, faceplate adapter that I have, I use some little plastic spacers that I had left over from hanging a wall TV. So we'll flip this over here real quick. And you can see I put a little spacer here, and then just a washer on this side to get it tight in there. So it should be okay, because this part is going to clip in, as well as this part that is screwed onto here is going to get screwed onto the mounts inside of the dash. So that should be okay. And then this is what the wiring loom looks like when I'm done. And I left these two open because they're just labeled differently for the steering wheel controls. So I just made them so I can flip them if I have them backwards. I'll just do a quick test before I actually mount it in there, make sure that's working. Make sure both these are working, the GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and the rear view camera. Oh yeah, and also I used just a couple of screws from just a cheap Harbor Freight hardware kit just to mount everything up. But alright, so I think that should be all. Next is actually to put the radio in. Alright, and we're back. We got the radio installed. Had it for a couple of days, did a road trip with it, kind of messed around with it a little bit, so I think I can kind of give you the down and dirty of it. Let's start out with just kind of some basic functions where, like, let's say we go into the radio, we hit the home button here, it brings us up to the home screen. We also have this button up here, which also brings us up to the home screen. And this, we have the back button. I don't know how many people are familiar with Android, but this is kind of the way it works. But then you have this button here, which is going to bring up your list of open apps. Then kind of like this button here, where when you push it, boom, you're like a freaking stealth fighter going on a bomb run or something. Like, boo! Oh man, got done with it. Boo! Completely dark. Alright, and then this one does the same. Well, this one's actually for muting. I thought that one was for the screen. Maybe it's for a different one, but it definitely mutes it here. Then back, volume up, volume down. Make sure this is down so we don't get any static or copyrights. One thing that I did notice, or a couple things that I did notice on it, is like, alright, so we go into the radio here. This one, I want to think that this is a volume knob all the time, but this changes the radio station. Now say we change this radio station, you just press it, we'll go change it here to, ooh, that was very close, but we'll go 88.7. We'll go another one. 5. Then you can see all these are higher. Alright, so we got those programmed. Now if you hit this button, it's going to do a sweep from the lowest number to the highest number of station range available, and it's going to program over all of your pre-programmed stations, so good luck on that one. Then we have your EQ, which I think their EQ is pretty dope on here. Where, I mean, look at that. That's a lot of adjustment. It's over my head, but okay. We got where you have different presets that you can do. You have the standard rock, pop, classic, stuff like that. When you do a custom, you do have the ability to save. This guy seems to break it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but whatever. This is to kind of adjust around the car. Kind of cool as it has that little design. And this, I'm sure if you had subs and stuff like that, this would really help with controlling all that equipment. Not sure what the tuning fork is for. So we'll go back to the home screen here. Then you have this button here, which is going to bring up all of your additional apps, including your Play Store. So if you go back to the home screen, I have, you know, my favorites here. So say I want to take you know, one of the factory ones off or something, like I don't want the radio, you press and hold on it, drop it in the bin. Then we go over to here, and let's say we want, what do we want on there? Video, I guess. You can see this one just automatically, when you hold it, gives you the option to go into your presets. And then talking a little bit about these, this Z-Link is going to be one of your most important ones. This isn't something that you can get from the Play Store. There is a different Z-Link app in the Play Store, but not the one you want. The reason I know this is because I was going to try and do like a factory reset to show you guys, you know, it from the beginning, and I thought I really messed up, and like this was gone, or like it was there but it just didn't work. And like their original splash screen, like I'll show you how to change that in a minute, is, well, actually I don't even know how to show it to you now. I think I deleted it on accident, but it's like a splash screen of, you know, how to do your warranty. Alright, so we'll go into the settings here. Now there's two different settings to worry about, really. You have your settings here, which is for, you know, your network stuff, and you also saw the shortcut for it on the main menu, your apps, notifications, displays. This is kind of like your Google account kind of stuff. And alright, so we'll go back to the main menu here, and we'll go into your other settings, which is your car settings. Now this one is going to be more for, like, rather than the Android OS, this one's going to be more specific toward the, you know, this being a head unit. So you have your navigation settings, backlight settings, radio. So one thing, like, alright, so backlight settings, man, this thing's pretty bright just no matter what. But alright, so this is kind of important. The navigation settings, you have boot to run automatically run navigation. This doesn't have to be navigation. If you have it off, it'll just go to like the home screen or whatever. You'll have to select what you want to go to. You see I have it selected to Z-Link, so you get options like Chrome, Maps, YouTube. A lot of the apps that are installed are going to be options on there. So once you have it selected, it'll automatically boot to that service, which is kind of important, I think, for customizing the startup on it. Then let's see, so another thing here is you have your system settings, and on this you'll get your info. I probably wouldn't mess around with this factory reset, because this is the one that I did and kind of messed up some of the other apps that I'll show you how to get back if you accidentally delete it, because that one took me a second too. I don't think I found it inside of their support, but at the same time I tried to do it on my own rather than contacting their support. And this is where you also get updates, but you have factory settings here. So say you go into factory settings and it's going to ask you for this passcode. So the cheat code is 16176699. Boom. Alright, so in here, this is going to either kind of, from what I can tell, this one here I'm kind of iffy on, but from what I can tell is it's going to either show or hide icons and abilities of the radio. So if you don't have this, why have it checked? I don't have a front view, but I kind of wanted the icon on there because I'm going to probably put one on. You could probably simplify everything by turning a lot of this stuff off, but I left it on for demo reasons. And then you have your display set up. Pretty basic, really, I'd say. Just kind of adjusting your brightness, contrast, all that kind of jazz. Maybe that'll be a little bit easier on you guys' eyes. I don't know. We'll find out later. Go back a screen. Panel button setting. This one, I wouldn't even mess around. This is where you have your boot logo. where you can change what the initial splash screen is. So we'll go in there and show you just some options real quick. We're not going to change it because if I do that, then it's going to have to restart the whole thing. But you can see it has a decent amount of options on here. I mean, I would think you would have something on here that you could make you happy. I think you can do custom if you want. You have a dynamic logo setting, so if you really wanted to, you could upload or sideload stuff on there. Factory reset, I think that's the one actually that is okay. I don't know. I would contact support if you have questions on that one. Now, back car setting. This is for your backup camera. You want to make sure that you're on NTSC most likely. You'll have a couple different options. That's most likely what you're going to be using is just this one. So, and steering wheel settings. This one is not the one that you want. This is for like your maximum and minimum voltage for what the steering wheel uses, which confused the hell out of me at first. Nothing else in there is really important, so we'll back out of here. Yep, confirm. Alright, and then now that we're speaking of control set or steering wheel control settings, we'll find that real quick. So that's one of the things that you need to make sure is check marked in there to have it populate inside of here. So once you have that check marked, it'll show up as SW Learning. So on this one, here, I'll go ahead and reprogram some here, might as well. So like say to reprogram this button, you would actually hit the button on the steering wheel first, hit the volume up, oh, and then hit, oh, never mind, we gotta hit begin learn, then we hit volume up, boom, then we hit volume down, boom, then what, skip up, that one, we hit skip up on the steering wheel, hit this one, and then for my mode button, I like the play button. That way I can hit play pause, hit that button, hit this, and we'll end learn and mute the radio here. After putting a little bit more thought into that, I decided to go ahead and erase what I could and reset what I could to show you the setup for Z-Link rather than just, you know, the connection after the fact. So let's go ahead, get the radio on here, turn the overhead light off, and we'll give the Toyota a second there to quit beeping. Alright, so you see I have it set up where the Z-Link launches right away, and you see it says waiting. We're waiting for it to appear, and it pops up with that right away. So the passcode for this one, your secret code is 0000. So don't forget that one. And you can see that quick it picks up. And we'll go ahead and put that away. And you can see it's connecting wireless to Apple CarPlay. And the first connection takes a little longer than any connection after that. And then you get a little bit of info on this screen about what devices are able to connect and how to connect them, because the radio does have 2 USB connections on the back. Since, like I said, this isn't going to work with an iPhone 12 or a Samsung. Oh, yeah, we do. So on my phone, use CarPlay. There it is. And then it has all of my CarPlay stuff. So this is just gonna work like any other CarPlay after this. Reset. Reset is actually restart, and determine is continue. And upon that stunning revelation there, I think that pretty much brings our video to a conclusion. I'm sure I could have put more in, but man, this video is already long enough. But I guess I hope you guys had a good time. Come back, watch some more videos. Have a good day.